So this update is about the IM Fusion 15. I transferred everything over to this from the UNS 30, as while that tank was great, I wasn't completely happy with it, and also I wanted to get my wife some clownfish. Every time we would walk into the store, she loved looking at the clowns, trying to interact with them, so I thought this would be a great way to get her more involved in the tank and something else she can enjoy. This tank was set up back in January, February time frame. Our daughter was born back in November, and with the setup I've done now, maintenance is becoming much easier as I've added things to it. I now have 3 AI blade lights, 2 grow, 1 glow. I put the front grow on an angle bracket, L bracket that I angled. This way it'll put more light towards the front of the corals on the sides versus just straight down. I also have 3 dosers, 2 Versa pump, 1 Kimura. The Kimura is dosing the Neo Nitro. The Versa, one of the Versas is dosing AFR, and the other one is actually dosing Captive 8. I did an ICP test. I sent it off to the Captive 8 Aquaculture, and they sent me a bottle that's strictly for my tank and custom. There is a 30-day supply, and then there's a 60-day supply once I'm out of that. That is to maintain, to bring the levels up to what they need to be. I'm also using the Axis 40. Aqua Illumination has been great with dealing with some of the issues I had with the Axis 20s. Basically, what I found out with the Axis 40 is turning them up around 90%. They start to turn themselves off and on continuously every few seconds. With the 40, I'm able to keep it at the lower setting, not have to go that high, so I avoid that. It's not ideal, but I like having everything on one application and not having to go through different apps. I think the Axis 40 has been, and it is a good pump. I wish that would be corrected. Maybe one of the updates eventually will have that done. I also added an AI Neuro 3, and that has helped a lot with the flow in this tank. One thing I was having an issue with dead spots. It does need to be cleaned right now. I cleaned it a couple weeks ago, and algae has just taken over again, so I'm going to dip this in vinegar. I've heard muriatic acid is better to do, but right now for me vinegar is the option. I might look at that in the future. All the corals from the UNS 30 have been transferred over. I've had some losses, but as you can see, I've also added quite a bit. Everything has been growing, everything's happy in here. I even had the one frag from the 5-gallon from years ago back, and I'm hoping to grow that out and have that back to the way it was, and super happy I was able to get a hold of that. The green SPS that's above the hammer coral, that's actually kind of greenish orange. That actually should be a solid red. I'm struggling to bring that out. It was completely green, so the color is slowly coming back, but I'm hoping that eventually over time that bright, deep red that it used to have will reappear. Just some of the corals I have are hammer corals, several different SPS. Duncan coral I thought I was going to lose, but it was able to come back along with the hammer coral. The elegance, which I've had pretty much since day 1 of the UNS 30. That was the original coral. Now it's outgrowing this tank. I've talked with the wife about replacing our other freshwater tank and just putting a tank specifically for the elegance coral there. This will be following and similar to the Eco Reef Zero, I believe is what it was. This was one of the things Jake Adams had set up, and I really liked that tank and how it looked, so I'd like to do something similar to that with this elegance coral. The flower pot corals in there, I've had trouble with SPS and flower pot corals, and this tank seems to be doing really well with them. They're encrusting. and just growing like crazy. The newer ones are kind of a little slow, but I'm hoping they'll eventually start picking up. Florida Ricordia, Barabonkai, those have been doing really, really well. The Barabonkai has actually grown a few more mouths and areas. The Zoas are starting to take off. I've never had a torch coral that extends as much as this one. So I'm really happy, really pleased with how that's looking. I also have the branching pink Sophastria, which is more encrusting. There is some branching, but it has not really come out, and it's hard to see as it's underneath the hammer, slightly shaded. Maybe it needs more light, but I was told they like kind of more darker places. The Blasto there, that has been doing really good. It started off with just one decent sized head at the top and a couple around, and now it's starting to encrust onto the rock. I can't recall the name of the coral that's blue and green with a little bit of orange in the back. That's behind the torch and the other coral I just mentioned. I do have a sponge in there. For livestock, I obviously have the two clowns in there that the wife picked out. I have a tail spot blenny. I do have a high fin Gobian pistol shrimp in there. They're kind of hiding. I have 3 Bruno's shrimp in there, and while I really like the Peterson shrimp, they tend to end up getting lost or something happening to them. I had porcelain crabs in there that actually I watched grab one that was molting and eat it, so those were removed out of the tank. I think the best cleaning crew right now I have is the Trochus, Seraph, and I did have 2. I'm now down to 1. I don't know what happened to the second one. Pythos crabs. Those have been great in handling the algae, keeping it clean. I added a strawberry conch in there, and that has been doing great cleaning everything, helping with the sand bed along with the Nasaria snails. I have 2 different types, the normal ones that we see in a smaller version. I do have an anemone in there. It was not doing great, which is actually right now currently below the Gonopora. It traveled around the tank, was looking for a place to settle in. It finally decided to settle right underneath the Gonopora, it seems. It's opening up more, slowly getting tentacles. So I'm hoping over time it'll start healing up and looking back like it should be as a bubble tip anemone. Some of the things I'm dosing, it won't be a complete list, but you already know with the dosers that I mentioned earlier. But I also dose, or feed I should say, Benepets, Nano V, the coral food, and the mini mysis with that. Rod's food, I do their fish eggs, which the corals somewhat seem to like. I haven't had too much luck with the corals and such liking the Rod's food, even the original blend. Benepets, of course, I've been on that for years. I love the product. It doesn't mess up the water. It doesn't cause any issues. So I really like that product. I do dose Acropower, which I'm thinking after that bottle is done, going back to Aquaforest Aminos. I really like that product. I think it brought out more of the coloration in the corals and helped a lot more. Also dosing Brightwell Aquatics Energy, and I've definitely seen some improvement after dosing that, along with the Microbacter Clean that I believe I mentioned earlier. If not, I dose Microbacter Clean daily as well. I do that just before the lights go off after feeding. The tank now is sitting on a different stand. I have a cabinet above it as well. I've done this to actually help clean up around the tank, get stuff organized as with the baby, and she'll be crawling soon, getting into things. I want to make sure I can protect her from anything that could happen, cords, chemicals, sharp objects. Dealing with the reef hobby, there's always some risk and always things that can be out and about. So we'll be getting locks for the cabinet, everything else. A lot of stuff is going to be stored up high on the top shelf. Other than that, this tank has been is on its way just to being self-sustained with my regular water changes and maintenance and feeding. I'm hoping I can just continue with that. Right now it does need another good cleaning. Probably need to do that about once every other month or so, and that'll help with the algae till that's more under control and everything's balanced out. Other than that, that's pretty much the update. I do more of my posts and such on Instagram, so hopefully you can check out the account over on Instagram. I apologize, I'm very tired from work and with the baby and some other things going on. It's difficult for me to remember things, so hopefully I covered everything, and thank you for watching.